Hi all. So welcome back again to module 3 of data management architecture. Here I'm going to start Azure data architecture, so that would change only the terminologies. I already have explained in my previous video architecture on Azure. So it would be the same one, but only the terms and the names of the databases and the storage would change. So here again, there are two types of data, unstructured and structured. So there is when there is no structure, that comes under the unstructured one, and where there is kind of tables and the structured one, so that would come under the further subdivisions of structured. Let's talk about unstructured. So again, there are two types of subdivisions here, file data and big data. And I have explained to you that file data is the data where it's not kind of very vast spaces required. This is kind of data like presentations, like Excel sheets. So this data does just need unlimited space. So I can define the quota. And why would I pay more for that? Whatever GBs I'm using, I can pay for that. So on Azure, if the same thing you want to do, here comes disk, data disk, and another is file share or file storage. Okay, so I will again kind of for your comparison, I would say that there on AWS portal, I told you volume that can be attached with EC2 instance. Here, there is data disk or the disk that can be attached with virtual machine. And file share and file storage is another one. There you can create the files. So again, I would say you one thing that when I'm getting, in both of the cases, I'm getting the file data. So I'm I'm going with the two storage. So for sure, this disk would create your drive and then file data. So drive cannot be shared with anyone. So if you want to share the file data, you'll have to go with file share. That would create a shared folder and then file data, right? Big data that need kind of unlimited storage for you. So that comes with blob and data lake. Netflix, Amazon Prime videos are such example where you need a kind of unlimited data space. Unlimited again, it's kind of hypothetical concept. So unlimited means kind of very vast space you are in need of, kind of petabytes and more. So you use blob data lakes. Again, I would say you here, again, the same thing I told you with the AWS as well, that kind of temporary storage also. Here also it comes kind of temporary. Okay, let me do type. Temporary storage that can be performed by queue, right? That also comes under your unstructured data. For example, if I'm going and I'm ordering something, particular stuff on some places, so my data would be queued before it's being processed. Whenever it is in the processing or whenever it is already being processed, that time my data would be removed from there, removed from that temporary storage. That is something queue concept. Let's come again back, let's come back to the structured one where you have further subdivisions, same as AWS, that is relational data, RDBMS, and NoSQL. So if I'm talking about relational one, so here you have further services on Azure, that is SQL, MySQL, PostgreSQL. Here, I guess there is no concept kind of Oracle here. Okay. So all these things. So here you would create a database, then the table, and here actually you create a fixed table, right? There would be defined rows, defined columns. It is kind of a predefined data written in the JSON script, right? NoSQL one is kind of unstructured, not unstructured, but not predefined data. It's not predefined, like messages, post, whatever I'm going to do, it's not predefined. So here also actually you create the databases, but not the fixed tables. There are not fixed rows and columns in the particular table. You can go either ways. So here you use Cosmos DBs and table data, table storage, table shares. Here also I can give you one like further subdivision. Here also it comes like in-memory database, that is Redis, same as AWS. That is a generalized thing, just to let you know. Again, as per the redundancies, actually, Azure shows you in the storage account only what kind of redundancy you are preferring and uh, like which kind of storage you are preferring. Means standard and premium. Obviously, pricings are different as per standard and premium. Standard would provide you kind of hard disk and all to save your data. Premium would give you the SSD. So obviously, SSD is having very high frequency. So cost will be accordingly. And they support the respective or particular redundancies. Okay, so if you are going with premium tier storage, you can only go with one redundancy, that is LFS, local redundant storage. That would give you 3 copies in only one data set. That would not change the data centers. This comes data centers, one data center, reason and all, that comes in high availability architecture. In my further videos, you can search it out. You can have a detailed descriptions about the reasons and the data centers and the availability zones, what is high availability. But as of now, I can say you 3 copies in the same data center. It is your LRS. How much availability is there with this LRS? You can go and search out. ZRS is zonal redundant storage that gives you 3 copies of your data in 3 different data centers. GRS is 6 copies in 2 different data centers over the geography. Okay, so obviously, if you are supporting and if you are choosing premium tier, you will be having only RRS option, and standard will give you all the options. There are certain services that are limited with the premium only, and there are certain services that can go with both standard and the premium kind of storage, right? Here actually kind of archived data, if I'm talking about blob and the container. So in the blob and the container, concept of the archived data is inside it, like you have to select there what kind of data is there, cold, hot data. Okay, so there is no such concept separately like Glacier on AWS. So wherever it is kind of warehouse, I can say. So wherever it's kind of archived data, old data, historical data, that would not need any kind of high redundancies and any high frequency. You can choose standard data, standard tier storage. Right? For your hot data that is in process right now, always go with premium tier. That frequency matters. Okay. Further concepts are there like encryption, access key, defender, audit, high availability, pricing, SDK. So encryption again, the concept is same. That kind of key would be provided to encrypt your data. That key you will use as Azure key inside the portal. Access key you can generate and it can be accessed outside of the portal by other persons. Defender and audit is new concept here, right? So defender is kind of a firewall provided to you, and audit means kind of reports or logs you can see. What kind of logs you can see here? Um, for example, I'm storing my data. I have access on it because I'm the owner. But the persons who are managing the Microsoft accounts, like the person they are in the management from the Microsoft team, they can all because they are managing my data, right? They are managing the things. So they will log in from there and they would manage. So what kind of login they are doing, access they are doing, and management they are doing, all the reports I can see from the audit. Logs would be generated. High availability, obviously, is it's per you, whatever you are selecting, 3 copies in particular data center or different data centers. You are going with LRS, ZRS, JRS, ZJRS, many options are there. And pricing, obviously, if you are going with the standard, that would be low. If you are going with premium, it would be high. So as per you want your speed and the data processing, you can choose your pricing classes. SDK access again from the code also you can access the data. So keep me following up for the summary of data architecture in the next coming videos. Thanks for that. Hi all, welcome back. So this is my last slide for the module 3, my bootcamp that is related to the cloud data management architecture. So till here in my previous all the videos, I explained you what is the need of data management, what is data, how can you make it like secure, authenticate, whatever, and what all the stages of the management architecture, which kind of data you can store in particular what services, how can you do that on both the portals like on Azure, Azure portal or AWS console, right? So this is kind of a summary I created for you actually. I don't think so you can get it anywhere. So it's just like a summarized way. You can just have a picture in your mind which kind of data, where you are storing, what it would call or what it would be called as per the terminologies of AWS and Azure respectively. We started with a data that is kind of a limited data, kind of the data where you are just having, you do not need not any unlimited space or a very vast space, kind of your presentations, kind of your Excel sheets, kind of your words, these kind of data. So if you are creating, if you want to store this kind of data, you can go with EBS on AWS or disk on Azure. Both of these would create a drive and the data would be your file data. Another option you have Elastic File Share on AWS, File Share on Azure. That would be your share directory that would also call file data. So here question can arise that when I am having the file data with both of the storages, why I am making the separations here? Why AWS is providing me EBS, EFS, both the things? Why Azure is providing disk and file share, both the things? Here, drive, if you can think about it, so drive, it cannot be shared. It's not shareable. So here, if you want to share your file data, you can create share directory using EFS or file share respectively, and the file data can be shared, right? Whenever you need a vast or unlimited kind of storage and you do not know that what kind of and what is the limit of your data, how vast your data is, how vast the space you need, you can go with S3 simple storage service on AWS or blob storage on your Azure. So if you are going with S3 on AWS, you create buckets. If you are going with blob, you create containers. Both of the things, whenever they will keep the data in it, that is called object, right? So whenever your data is object, it gives you a URL to share. When it is file data, when it is other data, it's not never you get the URL. But when the data is object, you can get an URL to be shared. Another types of data we learned in the previous architectures, that was relational data and NoSQL data. So in both of the relational and NoSQL, this is the same concept and same terminologies both in AWS and Azure. It is RDBMS only, it is NoSQL only. Okay, both create the databases and both will have the tables. But the only difference in these two is when you are going with relational data, you are creating database and your data would be we configure or we put, that would be kind of a fixed table, kind of a predefined data. Fixed table means rows and columns and everything size and all would be predefined, data size and everything would be predefined. Format of the data would be predefined. But here with the NoSQL, it's kind of not non-predefined data. Database would be created, but table would be dynamic. There would be no fixed size for it. There would be no fixed rows and columns. I hope all the separations and kinds of data and how you put in different kind of storages on the respective platforms, cloud platforms like AWS and Azure, it's very clear to you. So thanks for the day. Keep me following up in my next bootcamp modules.